Is it just his size, or does he actually know how to fight? Stop and think with me. A guy who's already carried tons of weight, who was declared the strongest human on the planet, who played the Mountain in Game of Thrones, and he decides to step into the ring. But is all that size and extreme strength enough to beat a high-level fighter? Today we're going to get to know Thor Bjornsson and see if he really knows how to fight. Let's go. Who is Thor Bjornsson? The guy has won World's Strongest Man countless times. He was the World's Strongest Man champion in 2018, and he won the Arnold Strongman Classic multiple times, guys, in 2018, 2019, and 2020. He holds the world record for deadlift. He lifted 505 kilos, my brother. That was all official, guys, in 2025. Over 60 wins in national and international strongman competitions, more than 100 podium finishes in total. The guy is a multiple-time champion, guys. So, for those who follow, I follow World's Strongest Man a lot, so I've seen this guy compete many times. He's really a beast when it comes to strength. Let's see if he can transfer all that strength of his, that raw power, to the world of fighting, to the movements that fighting requires. You see, guys, how he's someone who brings something extra? This kind of throw isn't just about brute strength, he has explosive power. Also, the guy who competes in the World Strongman isn't just strong, he's a more complete guy. He's better suited to applying the kind of strength that fighting requires. You can see, guys, that it's a very different kind of strength, for example, from what we see in an Olympic weightlifting competition, where it's a specific and isolated movement. But in this type of World Strongman competition, they also use a lot of strength endurance, and that's where I see it being easier to carry over into fighting. We see that there are movements not only of strength, but also of strength endurance and explosive strength. So these guys are a bit more adaptable to fighting. But so far we've only seen strength and strength endurance movements. Let's see when it's time to fight if he can show power and speed. Look at the size of Monstrengo, man. Imagine facing a beast like that on the battlefield. Yeah, Zay, that's crazy. Only with a rifle, man. Only with a rifle, otherwise you'd be done for. He killed my favorite character of the season. But it's fine, I wouldn't do anything to him. You wouldn't and you couldn't, right? Were you into Game of Thrones or Monstrengo? Man, I don't remember watching all of them. It's not really my thing. I'll give Game of Thrones a chance. No. Me there, master? Are you fucking with this guy? Bro, I just want to see him fighting, man. I want to see him fighting. I know he's strong. And in the movies, bro, everyone looks tough. Damn, look at the size difference, bro. Look, he moves well, man. He's light on his feet. Yeah, he's light on his feet and moves well, man. Bro, you can say he knows how to fight, man. Counterpuncher. He's not inexperienced, bro. Look at that, man. If it's fish, put it in. He even hits while walking backward, bro. Man, he knows the right time, dude. He's not green, man. Yeah, bro, I never want to mess with this guy. He's got that awkwardness in his punch, right? But that's because of his size, you know? But, man, the timing, you know? He's got timing, man. He's not a guy who just goes in swinging, you know? No, he knows, man. He's got speed, man. But you can see that an athlete, for example, Nanu against him, I'm more of a Nanu guy. Even Powhatan against him, I'd go with Powhatan. So you see that in the fighting world, the strongest guy in the world isn't always the most dangerous, right? I'm more of an old strong type, you know? No, there's no way. Look at that. He even moves at a good angle to avoid his left hand, but it's kind of like boxing from the 1930s, right? Whether he wants to or not, man, if he's focused on the fight, his body will slim down, he'll lose mass. It's fat, right, man? Look, man, he moves well, dude, but you can see that his strikes aren't really that strong, right? Even though he's strong. We expect a guy who lifts 510 kilos to have a sledgehammer for a punch, right, bro? You can see there he's already facing a more streetwise guy. Look, you can tell he's a fighter, right? You can tell he's a fighter, someone who knows the sweet science better, right, man? He's already tucked in, look. Ele sabe que o cara ali não... He's harder to reach. Yeah, man, but he knows how to fight, bro. That's awesome, man. Imagine getting hit with that. Do you think that glove is what? 12, 14, 14, 14? No. He took a knockdown, man. I like seeing a guy who can actually bring a big body, the body of the strongest man in the world, into the fighting world, and he's an athlete, like at a high level, man. I like seeing that. Now, does he have a role with Gordon? Look, man, really focused on grappling, right? Look, Gordon already tells him to go ahead. He's close to 200 kilos there. Look, he doesn't know anything about jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah, not that Gordon couldn't do that with anyone, right? That's not it. But he didn't even make a move to imagine the strongest guy in the world trying to hold you down. You have to put up a bit of a fight, man. I had an athlete, right, Giacomo, who weighed 120 kilos. He even got up to 140. It was insane, man. Seriously, a guy with 200 kilos, you know? That's crazy. Technique beats size. If one has technique and the other only has size, technique beats size. But now size and technique together, man? Yeah, man. A lot of athletes on the world boxing circuit are going to lose to him, man. He won't be an easy match for 80% of the athletes, you know, in boxing, right? In MMA, that gap is actually even bigger because we can see that on the ground, he doesn't know anything. He's better at boxing, yeah, than grappling. With his physique, with his background, he would be a better grappler than a striker, yeah, because of the kind of strength he already has, right? A grappler is already more about isometric strength than a striker, right? So, more than that, hey man, if this guy comes to fight, what does he need to improve to be respected as a real fighter? Fight, brother. Guys, we saw 2 really good fights from him there. Now he needs to fight, face real opponents. It's no use being the strongest guy in the world if you don't knock people out. So, he has to fight, man. I really liked it. I think Game of Thrones has a real fighter. So guys, if strength was everything, it would just be about going in and winning, but fighting requires more. Now I want to know from you, do you want me to react to more athletes from other sports? Leave it in the comments, leave a like, subscribe, and let's train smart, guys. See you next time. Which was their best fight, the one we saw in boxing or in Game of Thrones? Oh no, in boxing. The one in Game of Thrones was actually crazy. Yeah, that's already crazy.
It's been a long journey. 6 podiums, 3 times third and 3
lift of a whopping 1,024 pounds. That's the weight of nearly 1,000.